Good evening, everybody. Welcome to the February 1st, 2016 meeting of the Weare Board of Selectmen. Please rise for the pledge of allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. And please join us for a moment of silence. Thank you. Department head and committee items. Anybody here for those?
You missed one.
Sorry, public comment.
John Osborne. I read in the paper 2 or 3 days ago, I guess, the advertisement for the Director of Public Works. I'm curious as to why there was nothing in that job description saying that they needed to have general knowledge of transfer station operations.
The advertisement may not. The job description.
No, because a lot of people are going to look at that and say, "Oh, well, okay, that's just highway," and it's not, because the transfer station takes just as much time as the highway side of it. It really does. So I was just curious why I didn't have it in there.
The advertisement doesn't, John, but the summary talks about the highway, water, wastewater, and transfer station.
And we put in the ad to go looking at the website, right? For more information. We didn't?
No, we did not.
Oh, that was just in Sunday, but
I only put it in Sunday, but I've put it on LGC, Primex, the
I'm sure it was an
website.
oversight in trying to save newspaper space and lines
Right.
and
But, yeah.
certainly changes can be made to LGC.
Yeah, we can make
Yeah,
those
but-
changes now. Yeah. Though I can't go back on Sunday's paper.
yeah.
hmm
Any other public comment? Okay. Now department head committee items. Are there any for that? I don't see any for that either. Okay. Assign speaking assignments for deliberative session.
In your papers that I gave you, I made this warrant articles. You guys can fill in your own as we go down through and discuss. It's starts out with 10, and I gave you the bridge bond, and each one kind of gives you what the article is about. And I guess it's my understanding that we would follow suit like we've always followed suit, and if you take an article, then you would be
write up.
responsible for your own little write-up. Which, I'm just going to preface it, we'll need to do that next week if we're going to have the 15th off, because it's got to go to the printer on the 16th, so. I mean, it's pretty straightforward. It went along last year pretty well, because you've already prepared it to talk at deliberative session, so. So, you guys can go down through and we'll fill in everybody.
DPW garage bond. I was gonna ask for volunteers, but
Jen.
Tom, has EVA Tom. Yeah, I will. There's going to be some people on the committee.
that we would recognize this week.
Yes.
The Article 11 proposed operating budget. Oh, I don't mind taking that one. Unless somebody wants to grab it. The CBA police, for the police department, Article 12.
Jen?
Jen?
I was thinking that.
Yeah.
That's what we went for, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay.
I'll pipe in on it too, Jen.
Thank you.
Non-union employee raises, Article 13. Jim? Government building and maintenance funds. I don't mind doing that one. If someone's looking for it. Per diem EMS.
This,
Can we take the next 5?
I mean,
You gonna be there?
5? Yes, I am going to be there.
Unless this thing goes off and
You
then
can
that.
take-
No, I
that's
won't,
the whole thing.
I won't be on that day.
Okay.
So, that
So
way,
you're gonna take the next 5?
yes.
Well, the next three, certainly, they're all interconnected.
Yep.
I wrote Keith, sorry.
Okay, anybody have any objection to that?
No.
For the next 3?
Next 5?
Okay.
All right, Article 20, additional 3 full-time police officers.
I don't mind doing that.
Okay. Article 21, police cruiser lease.
I'll do it.
22, road reconstruction. 23, loader for the highway department.
I've got some background on that, so I can do it if you'd like.
Okay.
You have background on the skid steer too?
No, the loader, I had to get information for the finance committee on, so I sat down and talked to them about it. I really don't have anything on a skid steer. I know what it is, but that's about it.
Wasn't easy to say.
Article 24, skid steer.
I'll do it if you want. That's fine.
I'll take the next.
Chase Park, yes.
Next two.
Article 25, Chase Park, and Article 26, Bolton Field. Jim?
Mm-hmm.
I can do the library anyways.
You know what you're gonna have to say for that one, right?
I'll figure it out.
I recognize Chris Haig.
Oh, yeah.
Jen's all about that.
Jen, that's where I thought you grabbed it. 28, cemetery construction capital reserve fund. I can take it. 29, Cyprea, might as well do that one too.
Taking all the tough ones.
Yeah, I know, huh? Well, you guys are all jumping at them, this is going well. Article 30, hazardous waste day,
I'll take
real another tough one there.
Is that a Jim?
Yep.
Okay.
Article 31, fireworks.
I'll take it.
Article 32, Gordon Brown lease.
I'll do
Take
that.
this.
Yeah.
Article 33, town forester.
I will, nobody else wants it.
Okay,
Doesn't matter.
anybody want that one?
Let's talk about blazing.
Okay.
Yeah,
No, that's the
we're
next
in
one.
blue blazes, are we gonna do, except they weren't blue, they were yellow.
Article 34, conservation town forest lands.
I can do that one too, because they're kinda connected.
Okay,
I'll leave the next one to you, Keith.
yeah, I was gonna say, Article 35, I'll take that one. The improvements to the firing range. Article 36, broadcasting meetings.
I'll do it.
Okay. Article 37,
It's open.
other business.
Naomi.
Yes.
Yeah.
Oh, I thought you were asking my name, sorry.
I'll take that.
And if you guys need anything, just please let me know. I'll send you
Okay.
stuff.
Yep.
Because just for your FYI, my intention is we'll sit up on the stage like we always do. I'll have your name tags. Then my thought was I don't need the big screen this year because they've got a TV. So I was going to put a smaller table kind of off to the side. And there's been some discussion when people ask you, they come up front and they ask the board a question and then we refer to somebody. They're always looking at their back. So for the 2 chiefs and Laura Spector and Tim, I was going to just set them up on the stage because we're going to have portable mics. They can have one on their table. They can just, so when you ask them to speak to it, then they're speaking to the crowd.
Right up on the board.
And then the camera can go to them as well.
Or they can get up and stand where we stand.
But yeah, they can do either if they're comfortable sitting or
Do you
standing.
think a TV, people will be able to see that from the back?
It's a
of the room?
70-inch TV.
That's a decent size.
Yeah.
Where'd that come from?
School budget.
The school has
They
it?
had a little fluffy.
Yeah.
And it's hooked and it's hooked to a projector, so I'm going to put my thumb drive in and then I can run it from the remote.
Oh, wow. All right.
Practice that?
The remote?
I mean, I don't know how that.
Yeah, no, I'm going to do that. I got to go work over there a couple days nights just to see how things are going to be set up, but that was the intention.
Okay.
Can we
Yes.
just,
10 is Tom and 11 was Jen or Keith?
11 was
me.
Keith.
Keith, okay, fine. Thank you.
Mm-hmm.
just to run through the process on that day so that we're all clear. I guess the person who has the article just moves it.
First,
Right.
then somebody seconds it, and then he'll recognize that person to speak.
Okay. Now,
Jeff?
where does the finance committee fit into there?
After we speak, they recognize the finance committee.
Who does the
John.
person bring?
John
Moderator.
Foss does.
Moderator.
That's been always my understanding.
I think that's how
I
they.
Yeah.
wasn't there last year. I was for about, what, 20 minutes?
Because I think you'll speak to it, and then he asks for the finance, and then he opens the floor.
Yeah, it just,
And you can talk to John but that's what we've
no,
always
it's
done.
just, some of these are gonna require some rebuttal after the finance
Yep.
committee makes their recommendation. Yeah,
When he
so I
opens the
guess
floor, you'll have to jump
can
in,
just come
probably.
right back to it.
Yeah.
So, all right, just,
Unless he says you've already spoken, you have to wait till everybody else gets their turn.
I think we take priority.
That's usually the way it goes.
The other thing is, do you have well, we don't really need it for this meeting, but in case some questions come up, our final draft of the budget with all the
Yep.
lines in it?
I do. I can give you all one for that day.
Yeah.
Sure. So you want the 2015 final budget numbers? Or budget printouts?
Oh, it's 2015.
Right, do you want to know where we ended up and the new one?
Yeah, both, really. I need I was talking about the new one because
Yep.
just, I've got so many different copies.
Yeah, I'll make you all a fresh one, and I'll have them with me to give to you. I'll have the 15, which is where we ended up. I'll have the 16 proposed, and then I'll have a 16 default, and and anything else you want. So, that should, I mean, both Beth and I have binders of stuff, so if you guys need to refer to something, we've got them back. And I'll be bringing that.
Okay. Any other questions about deliberative?
We start at 9, so if everybody can get there a few minutes before and get situated.
We're in the cafeteria, right?
We're in the cafeteria, yep.
Do we have a pamphlet or anything, so I know how to start these? Because I wasn't there last year.
Um,
Just have it.
yeah, I can mail,
Huh?
You can look at last year's. If
I
it's
don't-
still-
She doesn't have it.
I don't have it.
Okay.
you don't have last year's mailer? I have it in PDF, if that'll help you. And what it does is it shows it this way, because that's how I have to send it to the printer, and then they just put it together. So yeah, I can send it to you and you can see. I've got,
Just last year's?
nope, it's 14's right here. I got so smart and put it that way, so I have books of them upstairs. Oh, it looks like you might have one. 15?
You can have that one.
Thank you.
If you want, I can bring an old one from last year, but I mean, I got some more upstairs. I just don't want to confuse the issue. People think those are the new ones.
Can you send that to me, PDF?
Is that what you meant, Jen? For the
PDF.
mailer?
Jennifer, you still want it PDF?
Yeah, sure.
PDF mailer. Does everybody want via
There's no
copy?
need to reinvent the wheel if there's one that's the same.
No, I'm fine with this.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm taking one.
Yeah.
Just the two of them? You guys are all set?
We can send it along, if you're sending it
To
to
all.
one.
Yeah,
Okay.
I'll send them all.
Because you're right, no sense in, and I think you can copy from there too. Highlight.
Okay.
So all we're writing is what the purpose of this is for.
That's correct.
Yep, and writing up what it is you're gonna wanna say when you address the article. Can be written.
I'll be sick.
Review Board of Selectmen report for the town report. Did everybody get it in time?
Yes.
They've been printed both times.
I just have a couple of,
This is what you wrote.
the finance, I took your second draft, Keith.
Okay. I'm trying to
Um,
figure out which one was my
and-
first and second.
Yeah, that's why I didn't want to print both.
One without lines in it.
I figured out who's on the finance committee,
Okay,
so I have that corrected.
okay.
There was 3, there's one that's not there, and then there's 3 that should be added.
Okay.
So if you want to, after Matt Whitlock, there's a Rochelle.
Did you already write it in?
I did.
Oh, well then,
Okay.
just go with it.
And then John's last name doesn't have a Z, it's an S. Osborne is an S.
Okay.
Osborne. And then at the very bottom.
Wizard of Oz.
At the very bottom, Jim usually uses his middle initial, and then I did kind of what you did at the top. It's Frederick.
Yep.
But I was gonna take Ricky off it, because on the bottom of anything that we sign, it's always just Frederick F, Frederick W. So that's all I did, was, everything else was great.
Those, that's fine.
Yeah. I thought it was very good.
Anybody else have any? Okay.
No, you're gonna have a speech at the beginning of deliberative session, though.
Pretty much gonna read this.
Okay. I'm just gonna say, because you're the State of the Union, I mean, State of the,
Jeez, town, huh? Let's-
just teasing.
Hmm.
I don't have minutes for you because I only got here late today, so
Okay,
I'll have it next week.
so we're up to the manifest. I move we order the treasurer to sign the accounts payables and payroll checks dated February 4th, 2016, as included in the following manifest. Payroll manifest, $40,295.03 for weekly payroll, including payroll taxes. Fire department monthly payroll manifest of $14,004.75 for January 2016. The accounts payables manifest of $81,682.72 for a total manifest of $135,982.50.
Second.
Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Were there any late manifests? I
I
had-
don't think there was. There's
I
still
just gave it to Naomi.
Just fine.
135,982.50.
95.20, thank you.
982.50.
Oh.
Administrative report?
Yeah, there really isn't anything more to add to that, other than, I did give you, Beth, I was gonna talk about the transfer station revolving fund. I gave you 2 colored copies in your stuff. One is a complete year at 15, and one is the first month of 16. So those are the numbers of where you ended up. At the end of December, there's 2875.33, as you can see.
And where did we make the change?
In
Which
the
is the first month that we made the change?
August.
August, so all of August reflects the new numbers?
No.
Hmm.
The
Middle of August?
Middle
No, it would have been the September through, because if you go on page 2, Keith, you're gonna see where the bulky items, and that was, so that, when the bulky items changed, that's the same time everything else changed. So it would have been September. Yes, transfer station fees. Sorry.
So September would have reflected our new numbers, so we have 5 months of data.
Yes, you have you have 1st of January as well. And just a question, do you want to go back and reduce it back, or how do you want to? Remember there was discussion that we would review these and warrant whether we wanted to go back and change the
Just seeing.
construction.
I don't want to complicate it, but if we had a public hearing to do it one way, we did, didn't we?
No, that's what I'm asking, and we'll have to do it the other way.
So we have to have.
Right, I'm just wondering if there's enough information for you, do you want to consider it, or how do you want to do it? Do you want to analyze it and ask it next week? Do you
Well,
want to?
It's not too
It's not that too,
complicated.
right, exactly.
Ending balance.
Yeah, so we got
What I don't understand is how come that ending balance,
What's that?
fluctuate so much.
Right, why does it drop in December, so?
Because you had more hauling expenses than you had what you took in. See, sometimes it takes time to catch up.
So
Depends on when, because we deposit every week.
it doesn't look a whole lot different than before we changed the rates. You look from month to month
You-
with the ending, I'm just looking at ending balances.
Yeah, because I'm just gonna throw at you, look at October and November. If you look at the hauling expenses in October and November, see the difference there, and then you look again in December, because they carry. So, you're right, September, October was very thin, I'll call it, and then look at November and December. For your expenses and your revenue's up a little bit, but
So it's almost, the hauling expense in December is nearly double. Nearly a month.
very good. But I wonder if we paid some in December, because look at January. 804.
Look down at what it's for,
Okay, for-
not, electronics.
Interesting is it,
Mhm.
hauling expenses fluctuates a little bit, but May, June, July, even August, September, they're, within a few $100, I'd say.
Yeah, and then October it dropped off.
The other
I
thing
think I wonder
the other
is
thing that's
because of the
possible
weather.
Here, if we're looking at January bill, we're only February 1st. It
Right.
could be that we've got bills that haven't come in for hauling expenses
Right.
during January.
That's what I'm saying. Because today's February 1st.
Yeah, but that's what Naomi was saying, when we paid forward for December, where it was.
I'm just looking at some of these expenses. If you look in October's expenses, and then you look at this November and December's.
Mhm.
I mean, the ending balances are higher than they've been.
Mhm.
Even the lowest one of December is higher than.
Why should our hauling rate change?
Probably the amount of trips,
Just the amount of trips, yeah, and the wait time if there is any.
There was on this manifest, wait times.
If there's a wait time of a certain amount, they charge you an additional surcharge of, I think it's an hour time or something. If they have to sit in line for over a period of time.
I understand that, but I just don't understand. It's such a fluctuation. I don't know, like month to month, why it would change so dramatically. I mean, there's a $6,000 difference between October and November. Is it?
Because it built up in October and you just needed to send it out
I
in
don't-
December, November,
And then what?
and then again in December,
it just all of a
busy
sudden
time.
is even more than,
I don't know.
you know,
I'm just looking at the bottom balances, I mean, we
Well, that's
raised it because we thought,
yeah, but that's what makes me a little nervous about it is if we just look at the bottom balance, that these hauling expenses, I don't know if they're correct or not.
Well, if you look at the detail activity, the only one that fluctuates substantially is the construction debris between the receipts and the hauling.
well, that's the biggest line.
Mhm.
Correct. And in the end, we didn't collect enough to cover that particular line.
It's because the hauling doesn't necessarily happen in the same month as the receipts that took the stuff in.
Correct. No, I understand that. But if you look at, say, tires or even like fluorescent bulbs, they got hauled off once last year.
Right.
So I guess that's where a lot of the fluctuation will be. That's where, okay, they haul once here, so.
But that, Yeah, I don't know as if that even, that might be a different vendor. The fluorescent bulbs might, that's a recycling. What's that?
Same vendor we
It-
had for about 3 years.
It's the
But-
same
but I'm
vendor
saying
as the
it's
construction
Same
debris?
as the construction debris?
No, okay.
Right, so it'd be a different, same with the tires. The tires would probably be a different vendor from the construction debris and the fluorescent bulbs. So those hauling costs, I'm guessing that the hauling expenses we're looking at are strictly for the construction debris and household trash.
They only charge us $200.
And then that would also be the actual disposal.
I mean,
cost, correct?
construction debris usually in September goes at least twice. I've seen it go out there 3 times in September. September's a busy month for construction.
The other thing, I think, with the warm weather, we were just talking about this earlier, it was so warm through December, I wonder if construction,
Never
Look at the
really dropped
months.
off.
yeah, it never really dropped off, I'm wondering.
Except for October.
A
Yeah.
couple of things, if you look at the ending balance, whether you're looking at the top for general activity or the bottom, those aren't very large. In other words, you know,
That's what I've been looking at the whole time, is the ending
Yeah,
balances.
I mean-
I'm trying to compare it to before we changed the rates.
but doesn't the December ending balance, isn't that as of the end of the year?
And that's why it's
So if
carried
you're-
up at the
You
beginning
have
of,
like $2,800 at the end of the year, it's
Right.
not like we're overcharging. And then if you look at the detail, I don't know why those don't come out the same, it seems like they would.
which ones?
The number in the bottom right-hand corner of the detail activity and the one for the general activity, seems like those should be the same number. Maybe I'm looking at it a different way, but
I think,
if all of the blue are included in the green, then those numbers should be the same.
The total for the year isn't the end of December, though, I don't think. Maybe I guess it should be.
That's the way I was interpreting it.
Yeah.
yeah, I'm not sure the over-under.
Click on the cell and you see the formula and you'll figure it out.
Yeah,
But if you look at,
Beth
if
did it.
you do the detail activity, you know, you got $1,184 left. You know, that's not like we're overcharging. Because the guy could easily go,
And I'm wondering, just that $1,184.16 is just 15s. Remember, we have gone back and had some carry forward balance.
I wonder if that's, no.
Every year, am I right, Jan? Every year there's a balance in that end. So this year's over and under is 1,184.16.
But the carryover that account.
So whatever I don't remember what the beginning balance was in the end of 14. See what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So this detailed activity that she's gotten you from January to December gives you $1,184.16 in that account to the plus.
okay, yeah, that's probably why those two numbers aren't the same.
Because it's always a
The
carry.
blue
Ending-
is just this year.
This is
and the
just this
green
year.
Includes what was in the fund
Prior
before.
years, correct.
So the end of 15, we would have had almost, well, a little more than that.
At the end of 14 to
14,
begin
I mean.
15, yeah, you would have had
We
about
would have had more than that.
$1,700.
What's everyone think? Let's change things up, or stick with it as it is for another little while, or? We're gonna continue to get these.
Oh, it's time. She's already got it set up for 16, so.
Yeah, I would leave it alone. If that came out to like $10,000 or
Right.
something, it would be different, but
Yeah.
seems like that 2,000 could be eaten up in 1 month, depending on activity.
Yeah.
And if we have an early spring, looks like we have spring today, so. you know, you can monitor it next month and see what you think next
I'm
month.
just concerned about November and December's hauling expenses, because they're just so out of line from the rest of them. Even if you just look under the detail on the construction degree.
Because the cash receipts look pretty, pretty steady.
Cash sheets were very busy.
Cash receipts are steady, and then the hauling is fluctuates.
Yes.
Maybe it takes a couple of months
So
to
there's a-
fill up a trailer before you send it, that's all.
Yeah,
I don't know.
I mean.
Some
we
months
have-
you send it more
we
than
have
others.
July, we have an $8,000 cash receipt with a $4,400 hauling.
No,
Then we have,
the top one is the receipt, the bottom one's,
Yep.
that's what I said,
Oh, I'm sorry.
$8,000 cash receipts with $4,400 in hauling, and then.
But you could have received a bunch at the end of July that you didn't haul in July.
Well. Okay, so then
Then you'd expect August hauling to be
August
higher.
would be,
but-
August would be way different, and it's not, it's $2,800 in cash receipts with $2,700
Other way around.
in hauling. And then we've got over here in November, we have $4,600 in cash receipts with $6,400. Now, I understand the tonnage,
mm,
But the cash receipts on the revolving fund, your hauling fees also include the aluminum cans, metal tin cans.
well, this is
It's all broken down.
because This is broken down into just construction debris.
she has,
There's a
she has it
detail.
broken down as to what goes in the revolving,
Mhm.
which is what money we get. And she's done construction debris, tires, fluorescent bulbs, electronics, freon, and propane tanks. And then on the other sheet is different because it's got the, what goes in the, as general revenue and what comes out of the operating budget.
I mean, I think there's a logic to this because the construction debris is such a huge part of this.
Yeah, it's
And
the
if you
biggest
look at
piece by
the,
itself.
and if you look at the, especially the month starting in June on, it gets progressively larger right through December, and, you know, we had such an easy fall weather-wise, I don't think it's unusual for that to be building up as we go along here.
Just
Plus,
look-
I imagine these are all right off the invoices from the hauler, right?
Yeah, yeah, you guys just saw some, didn't you?
you just look at the construction debris cash receipts versus hauling for the total,
Yeah.
and the cash receipts were less than the hauling. So, it's, you know, it's nice to have, I guess, a month-to-month balance, because you could have months like that that are reversed.
Yeah, look at December. Good.
It just doesn't strike me as being far off anyway, not enough to,
No, you were shy by 1705.18. You took in less than you paid out.
I guess my only statement to that, Keith, would be the fact that from before we implemented, you start looking, not so much July, but June prior. The loss that we took, you know, we were way behind, well, we weren't way behind in January, way behind in February, et cetera, is that going to reflect in 2016? I mean, obviously, we don't have a crystal ball, we don't know.
that's why we've been looking at it every,
I would be in favor of continuing to monitor month to month.
I think that sounds like what everybody, I think that's what it sounds like everybody's in agreement on.
At least for the first 3 months of the year, and then go from there.
We'll keep looking at it.
Okay.
The point of discussion that's not included in this is that couch mattress.
That's in the second page.
Oh, it is, I'm sorry.
Yeah, because that's actually not a revolving fund, because that goes into the, which is the
It's just
bulky
a-
items, which started out with 1268, October was 467.50, November 891.50, December 806.
But there is no separate hauling for that.
No, because it goes in the,
Goes
it
in.
goes in your trash,
Regular, yeah.
which is why she's got it on the page for the revenue that goes into the general revenue, and then your expenses.
Yeah. in a way, that's misleading, because that general revenue
Sure.
doesn't offset the budget.
No, no,
It just goes into revenues.
right.
Which is showing, you know.
Well, you see that,
breakout, it's
yeah,
showing.
if you didn't have the negative, it's cells, she's got, because right now, as you can see, you've taken 79,224.51 for revenue this year. But you paid out 181,753, so the underage is not,
It's paid for.
yeah. Which is why the two balance, quite honestly. Because
I
that's,
think that's where Mr. Putt is saying that that's his, I think that's his point.
See, the difference, though, and I think that's the reason that there's been concern, is that all of the other revenues are revenues because we're selling the material that comes in, whether it's aluminum cans or newspaper or cardboard. So the revenue is coming from some source other than the taxpayer. The bulky item revenue is the only one that comes directly from the taxpayer.
And the issue is that it's not a separate hauling that we can see the charge is being offset by the hauling associated with it, all of the bulky items.
because it's in the trash.
And that's,
Add more trips, and it would be nice to be able to figure out if the hauling just associated with the additional trips due to the bulky items matched the revenue that we're collecting for them.
but the argument that we're hearing, I understand what you're saying, but the
Yep.
argument we're hearing is that because that revenue is coming directly out of people's pockets, then they're the same people who've already paid their taxes to dump their trash. So they're the ones that are feeling a double charge.
Well, on the other side of that coin is not everybody who's bringing regular trash is bringing bulky items.
I know.
So, I mean, it's,
So it's-
you can,
So we'll just continue to monitor it, I guess, and if we see some discrepancy, we can have a larger discussion, but you'll get those each month. You'll only get now the one for 16, but that's the cap for 50.
which is keeping this 15,
Yeah.
so we can continue to see the longer
Yeah.
trend.
Yeah, that's fine. I'm just saying that, you know what I mean, I won't give it to you each time, but if you guys wanna hang on to your 15 or keep it close by, you'll continue to get the 16s. So that's the only thing I wanted to bring up. That's really all I had, so.
Okay. Public comment?
Back to public comment.
No public comment. Correspondence? Other business? Any other business? All right, I move to adjourn.
Actually, I do have one
Oh, okay.
Non-public?
yeah, and I'm not exactly sure.
Say it,
Get the whole numbers.
91,
2, A.
2, A and C.
You wanna whisper to me? So I can tell
Selectmen
you.
seen whispering in town administrator's ear.
Sweet nothing.
Wouldn't be C. C's compensation would be A.
Hey,
Can we move?
sure.
Move to go in the non-public under RSA 91A:3, Roman numeral 2A.
Okay, all in favor?
Alright.
Aye.
Time you got?
Very.
7:40.